come my way. Give me long life and no stress. I dey pray make you come my every day. Cinnamon they pray. I don't want no alcohol. I live on my daily bread. I dey pray for blessings make you come my way.
Blessings make you come my way.
Joy, you come my way.
Joy, you come my way.
I dey pray for blessings make you come my way.
Blessings make you come my way.
Joy, you come my way.
Joy, you come my way. No need for this, rah, oh, nah. You see me, no see stressing, rah, oh, all my life I've been searching, I won't fight, let you lead. Blessings come, you can take them, you're the one that I need. Loving a go-go-teens, show me your love, mercy. Show me you're my Lord. I need you in my life, but don't leave no.
Blessing every day. I dey pray make you come my way. Give me long life and no stress. I dey pray make you come my every day. Cinnamon they pray. I don't want no alcohol. I live on my daily bread. I dey pray for blessings make you come my way.
Blessings make you come my way.
Joy, you come my way.
Joy, you come my way.
I dey pray for blessings make you come my way.
Blessings make you come my way.
Joy, you come my way.
Joy, you come my way. Alubarika for my left, alubarika for my right. Blessings come my way, favor come my way. Lord, be my lema, amen. I don't wanna, amen. I shall my own, amen. I shall do my draw, amen. Every day, saying my prayers. Every night, counting my moolah.
A blessing every day. I dey pray make you come my way. Give me long life and no stress. I dey pray make you come my every day. Cinnamon they pray.
Every day.
I don't want no alcohol. I live on my daily bread. I dey pray for blessings make you come my way.
Blessings make you come my way.
Joy, you come my way.
Joy, you come my
I dey pray for blessings make you come my way.
Blessings make you come my way.
Joy, you come my way.
Joy, you come my way.
Blessings make you come my way. Joy, you come my way.
Joy, you come my way.
I dey pray for blessings make you come my way. Joy, you come my way.
Joy, you come my way.
Hopefully we have audio right now. Shalom, everyone who's in the building. I want to welcome you back to another journey to truth and life where we utilize the word of the Most High to be set free from the chains of deception. And I do apologize for the technical difficulties we were experiencing in the previous attempt to live stream. Hopefully, those glitches have been corrected. And if you can hear me clearly, put a 144 in the chat. I see Yahuwah's own son is in his house. We want to welcome you on. Just want to make sure that we have clear audio as we're streaming right now. So, okay, so we do have clear audio, and we're back again. It's your boy MTAC, Mr. More Than a Conqueror. Case is my earthly name. However, you know, it's not about us. It's not about me. It's not about you. It's about lifting up the name of the Most High Yah, who is the reason for us living, moving, and having the experience of life. And so today's live stream is going to be words of direction and encouragement for those of you who have been chosen out of this world. You know, you're not of this matrix. You're not of this false illusion of a reality, but you are having this experience of life, what I call the uh, judgment, Corey, a intermissionary stage, which the scriptures tells us all of heaven and earth observe um, you to see if you'll be revealed uh, to be a child of the Most High Yah or not. And this is what this is all about. The scriptures tells us that the entire earth, grown it. Thank you so much, Sonny Yahuwah, for that 144. Um, the whole creation eagerly awaits the revealing of the sons and daughters of the Most High Yah, those that are real, is real. And that's where the 12 tribes of those that is real uh, are denoted. And we are separated from a fake world full of fake, phony people. You know what I mean? And so today's topic is a direct message to you all. You need to know without a shadow or a doubt that it is elevation season for the chosen ones. The secret plans, the secret plots, all the divination, witchcraft, sorcery, manipulation, all that dark psychology that the enemy's been plotting against you in secret will fail. It is failing as I speak. For one thing, the chosen have the ability to see right through it. I know I've been blessed enough to have the Holy Spirit gift of discernment, where even lately the enemy's been trying to trick me and play these, uh, I guess, Truman Show style false illusionary events where they attempt to make you believe the lie and divulge information that they can use to accuse you of and so forth. And it's just a wonderful feeling when you are aware of the enemy's hidden plan, not by our power, not by our might or special ability, but by the Holy Spirit gift that's been placed in us. It is Him that gets the glory and Him alone. But I want to just take this time to tell the chosen one, smile, laugh, and be encouraged, because this is your season of elevation. The Father has seen what you have gone through. All the, if you want to call it gang stalking, it's really spiritual warfare. The testing of your faith, the testing to see if you're real. Everything that is validated to have quality got to go through a period of testing. Gold, for example, in order for it to have a value assessed to it, it must go through a fiery trial, a series of testings where it is placed in a fire, it is heated up beyond the point of its ability to remain a solid in that state. And many of us have experienced this in our lives. I know I have, you know what I mean? Where the trials, the strange things and occurrences and unwarranted attacks that came into my life left me no longer being able to be solid in the things that held my life together before. It all fell apart. And that's what happens when gold is placed in a fire. It becomes liquefied. But in its liquid state, it separates from those impurities. It separates from those things that somehow got entrapped in its making. And the only way for it to be purified of all that is to be broken down, taken apart, so that the separation can take place and it can be put back together all over again. Well, how do this relate to uh, you and I as a chosen one? Well, many of us can testify that the life that we lived before, after undergoing these testings, left us in a state of isolation where we were alone. Many people, our family, our so called friends, and loved ones had to separate from us. Anything that was not part of Yah's plan for our life had to depart from us. And the scriptures refer to this as the wilderness stage. You know what I mean? The wilderness. And the Most High wants you to know that this is your coming out of that wilderness. This is Him pulling you out of that fire and preparing you for your destiny, your purpose. Yes, if you're a real one, if you're a true one, and you know if you are or not, you can't fake the funk. If you are real, true, um, chosen one, saint of the Most High, child of the Most High, however you want to categorize yourself, guess what? It is your season for elevation. You are created with a purpose. You need to know that you wasn't happenstance. You're not a mistake. You're not something that your parents wish they never had, or whatever the case may be. That's a lie of the enemy. We don't accept that lie. We rebuke and cast down every thought and every wicked imagination that the enemy have caused us to believe or to doubt. What we believe in is the truth. You're beautifully, I can't really say that word. I'm country as can be, but you get what I'm saying. And wonderfully made, you know. We are made with a purpose. We were purchased at a price. We are the redeemed. We are the holy. We are the peculiar people set apart, unlike anything this world have ever seen. So yeah, the paparazzi come along with it, the unwarranted attention, or what some may classify as unhealthy obsession. That all comes with it. Just remember, when the Most High birthed you forward, when He birthed me forward, we were an original masterpiece. We are the original masterpiece, and they've never seen anything like it. You take the cake. You take the cake. When they see you, they can't help but it just glamour and gliss and all. Like, wow, who is this? Everything that you do, everything that you say, it has a pizzazz to it. It has proclivity. It has uniqueness, and only you can bring it to life. Only you can be you. And that's one character trait that separates us, the real, the is real, from the is fake. Is they're constantly trying to follow trends and be fit the mold of the hive, of the herd, being like everyone else or someone else or whoever the wicked say their modern day idol is. We, on the other hand, we can't help but to be ourselves. We feel out of place when we try to be something other than who we were born to be. And eventually, no matter how much we've tried to suppress it in order to fit in, we found ourselves being ourselves. Because the real you, if you're chosen, will surface to the top. And once, that is expressed to the world, you become identified by prying eyes, those that seek to kill, steal, and destroy you, as a threat to a fake, faulty system built on lies, deception, manipulation, and the satanic art of dark psychology. And we're going to get into it. Welcome on, everyone, once again. And so, you know how I get down. I'm going to go to the scriptures and I'm going to begin to share with you what the scripture has to say about the journey. I like that word because life is a journey. You know what I mean? It's a journey, it's a process. So, what the scriptures, what the word of the Most High Yah, the one and only true living God, have to say about this journey of life that we all go through in our own special, unique way. So, I'm going to start here. I'll just add this to the stream, and hopefully, um, you guys are able to read along with me. It says, um, start at verse 2. It says, feed the flock of Yah, which is among you. Take the oversight thereof, not by constraint, but willingly, not for filthy lucre, but for a ready mind. Filthy lucre, for those of you, is just, you know, bribery. It's taking gifts and gratuities. It's what a lot of these so-called gang stalkers do, being benefactors to align yourself in wickedness. Anyway, verse 3, neither as being lords over God's heritage. And we know that we are the heritage of Yah, those that are real, but being examples to the flock. And when the chief shepherd shall appear, which is the Hamashiach, the anointed one, the Messiah, some say Christ, appears, you shall receive a crown of glory that fadeth not away. Can't nobody take this glory away from you that's come and chosen. Let me read that again. You shall receive. You got to take this person. This word is to you personally. You shall receive a crown of glory that fadeth not away. And likewise, you younger, submit yourselves unto the older. You all of you, be subject one to another. That's a process of humility and subjugation, showing meekness, the absence of pride, and be clothed with humility. The prideful, the wicked, the narcissistic cannot be humble. Humility is a character trait they lack. And many of us had to come up in humble beginnings. We had to experience nothing before the Father could prepare us to have something. And I'm so thankful for my humble beginnings. For many of you who don't know, I was born in, you know, the projects. Man, I'm talking about the poorest of the poor. I mean, I'm not even going to go into detail about how poor we were and how I had to go to school with patches on my pants and clothes and hand-me-downs and all sorts of stuff. Didn't know where the food was going to come from. Food stamps ran out fast and all sorts of stuff. It was nothing to come home with lights off or water off or whatever it was. You know what I mean? We didn't have fancy stuff. We didn't have, you know, our own personal bed or anything. Sometimes you might have to sleep on the floor. Sometimes you have to sleep 4 or 5 to 1 bed if you wanted to escape, you know, the hard floor or whatever. Humble beginnings, humility, and you realize, like Job did, naked you come into this world. You don't have nothing. Anything is a blessing. I'm thankful for all of those things, you know. But it taught us humility. It gave us the character trait of humility. For the Most High God resists the proud and give grace to the humble. Once again, he resists the proud. They think they're all that and a bucket of popcorn. He resists that. Nope, can't get into the kingdom that way. You can't develop a relationship with them that way. So the proud go into religion, which is not of God, it's not of the Most High, it's of man. It's a way that seemeth right unto man, but in the end, there's destruction. That's the definition, standard biblical definition of religion. And he give grace to the humble. He understand, man, when you're humbled in life, when you don't have anything, like right now, I don't have any income. I'm in between jobs once again because of repetitive sabotage, where they create a false narrative and then they go behind your back with these psychological, dark, manipulative tactics in order to make you fit the mold. And we'll get into that shortly. And I'm not telling you hearsay or what I read or what I believe. I'm telling you personal testimonial experience, which cannot be refuted in the light of truth. Verse 6. Humble yourselves, therefore, under the mighty hand of Yah, that he might exalt you in due time, in due season. And that is where the um, topic stems from. Is this is your season for exaltation, the humility that we've gone through, the humiliation rituals that we've had to endure is coming to an end. The Most High said he uh, watched us and how through it all, we just kept getting up. We kept pressing forward. We kept on holding on to faith in him. And this is our due season. See, there's a time and a season for everything. If you plant a seed and it received the right nutrients and sunlight and soil nourishment, there's going to be a season and a time where that thing has to spring forward. And if it continues and it roots itself in where it's being nourished, then guess what? There's got to be a time and a season where it has to produce a harvest. And we've gone through the different stages and not even known it. The germination, the sprouting, and now this is harvest season for many of us. Verse 7. Cast all your cares, your concerns, your worries upon him, for he cares for you. This is why we call him Abba Yah. Abba means father, the good heavenly father. He's not going to see his children begging for bread, or he's not going to forsake his child. You know, I mean, think about it. As an earthly parent, would we neglect our child? No. We may allow them to learn a lesson, but we're always going to be there for them. Why? One word: love. Love conquered all. In verse 8 is where we'll close out. It says, but be sober, be vigilant, which is part of the description of my name. Um, along says, be sober. That means, hey, those of you who's dealing with drugs and so forth, leave that stuff alone. I was having a conversation a day or two ago about this very same thing, and they asked me why, you know, um, in so many words, like why do I guess, dabble into those mind altering substances? And I said, no. Why not? Well, because I don't like not being sober, which means in control of my own thoughts, wills, and emotions. Pharmaceuticals or pharmacia or especially street drugs is a mind altering spirit that takes control of someone. You don't know what you're doing after that substance or the spirit associated with that substance began to take over your body. That's just what that is. And I don't like the feeling of not being mentally in control of my decisions in my life. When you take those substances, you open up a door, you open up a portal for the enemy to come in and just put you on autopilot. You're being cruised along without uh, any ability to take control. You're uh, like in that movie, Get Out. You're in the sunken place. That's what it does. But the scriptures tells us to be sober and vigilant. Why do we need to be sober and vigilant? Aware of what's going on, looking in the seen and unseen realms, the spiritual and natural realms. It tells us because, let me increase this, because we have an adversary, someone who's adverse to you. Whether you see them, you know them, you're aware that they're there, you're aware that they're watching you, they're stalking you, they're obsessed with you, whatever the case may be, or not. There is an adversary. The goal of the adversary is not to be seen by you or made aware of you until it's too late. And this brings in the next section. He goes about as a roaring or a hunting lion, walking around seeking whom he may devour. If you know anything about lions, or if you watch the Animal Planet channel, then you know that a lion stalks its prey in the bushes and tall grass. It wants to camouflage. It even has a coat or a coloring that allows it to camouflage in with its natural environment, so that the prey that it's stalking or intending to ambush and take out is unaware that it's even there. Now we have two-legged snakes, two-legged devils, two-legged lions that are seeking to take us out, and they utilize techno sorcery technology. They use dark psychology and manipulation and deception in order to do what? To pounce and attack and ultimately attempt to destroy our lives. So we're going to be sober, we're going to be vigilant, and we're going to be aware of all of this. Said me too, absolutely. So, the message for the chosen ones is that this is your elevation season. When you go through the things that I've gone through, where on a day-to-day basis the enemy is seeking an opportunity to exploit your kindness for weakness, your humility for stupidity. When you go through different acts, it's even difficult to open up your heart in your life to invite people in, because you don't know if that person is being used by the enemy in order to gain access to you. You have to be, the scriptures tells us to guard our heart, guard our lives with all diligency, for out of it proceeds the problems of life. You know what I mean? And oftentimes, I can only use my own personal testimony. I mean, let's be real here. Many of us who are adults, we desire companionship. The Most High created us to be social creatures. Those of you who are young men, hopefully, if the enemy ain't twisted you and that spirit of perversion, you desire a wife. And those of you who are adult women, you desire a husband. That is a commandment. That is a DNA trait that's been placed in your heart from Genesis chapter 1, from the beginning. He said he created them male and female, and then he placed a command in that flesh to reproduce with the opposite sex and multiply, to create and procreate family upon the earth. So that was placed in us from the book of Genesis, and you can go read that for yourself. I believe it's going to be Genesis chapter 1. I'll get the exact verse for you guys. This is out of the Geneva, and that is going to be um, um, verse number 27, starting at verse 27. So 1 and 27, you can get that. What I'm saying is the truth. So, but oftentimes when you got to be careful as a chosen one, you can't just open up your life and to someone, especially with this technology nowadays. You don't know who's on the other end of that technology communicating with you. The enemy, he will exploit that because he's the prince and the power of the air, the communication waves, and things of that nature. And he uses it as an opportunity to ambush his prey. Who's his prey? Those that pray. Let me say that again. Those that pray is the enemy's potential prey. So if you're someone who have faith, you're on your knees every day, you're praying, you're seeking the favor of the Father. If you're seeking the promises of the Father, if you're seeking the righteous ways of the Father, and you're constantly submitting your ways and changing your ways in order to fit Yahweh's, then guess what? The enemy is preying upon you, and he understands the psychology of the human nature, where we weren't. It's not good for man, for woman to be alone. So therefore, he created companionship, the sociology. So the enemy studies these things. He called it sociology. He created the natural thought process of the laws of natural thought process in which we should operate. So the enemy studied the science of that as well. They call it psychology. The only thing is, when you exclude the Most High Yah from that, then you get dark psychology, you get dark sociology, you get the enemy exploiting what they have learned, as it is written in the book of it's either Second Thessalonians chapter 2 or Second Timothy chapter 3, Romans chapter 1 also. Those three books. And those three books, those three chapters, Romans, the book of Romans, chapter 1, the book of Second Thessalonians, chapter 2, the book of Second Timothy, chapter 3, all lets us know that the enemy is forever learning the knowledge of good and evil, right? How to take good knowledge and weaponize it against the chosen elect. And it says, if thine eye be dark, how great is the darkness? They take everything that's good and then they twist it for their dark purposes. So as you chosen ones are being in your elevation, you're coming into your elevation season, just remember that. Guard your heart with all diligence. You can't just let any and everybody into your life. You don't know if these people are, these entities, I don't even want to call them people, are dealing in divination, or there's evil, wicked spirits unseen that is exploiting that connection that you've made for their modus operandi of destroying you as a chosen one, of destroying your destiny, your purpose, the plan that the Most High have for your life. The book of Jeremiah, I believe, is chapter, is it 20 something? I can't even remember off the top of my head. 29, 27, 29, somewhere in between that. He knows that we have destiny, we have a purpose, and the enemy don't want you to come into your purpose. He don't want you to fulfill your purpose of life. You know what I mean? And he will exploit those closest to you or try to plant people in your life in order to detour you from that. And then they'll try to call you crazy when you can see right through it. That's a psychological warfare tactic. When the enemy try to use reverse psychology or gaslighting in order to say that you're the problem when all along you know something isn't right, something is off. You know what I mean? You recognize the voice of Yah. You also recognize the voice when it's a manipulator, an enemy, a serpent, a snake slithering around in your garden, and you go, oh, okay, yeah, this is the one that seeketh an opportunity, walk around like a hunting lion, seeking an opportunity to devour someone, to consume someone. Um, you know, the book of Revelations, chapter 12, starting at verse 7, it says, and there was war that broke out in the heavenly realm. There was war that broke out in the spiritual realm. Michael, one who is like the Most High or like God. That's what Michael means. Micah means to be like. El means God. So he is a one who is what we would call Christ, the Word of God. Him and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought again in his angels. So the devil have angels. It means El means God, Ange means messenger or herald. They're the ones who carry a message. Now, that can be a good message from the Most High or a bad message from the devil. Either way, they're the whisperers. They're the ones who carry a message. They carry the news. They herald a word, whether it's a word of truth or a word of falsehood. But there was war, contention, and a fight that broke out in the spiritual realm against Christ, between Christ and the devil. And it says, and prevailed not, neither was their place found anymore in the spiritual realm, in heaven for them. And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent, that old snakish, poisonous, slandering, gossiping individual called the devil or the evil, and Satan, which do what? Right here, I'm going to highlight it, deceive the whole world. The whole world is being deceived under a great, strong deception through this dark psychology manipulator. It's casting spells and sorcery. And that, trust me, deceiving the whole world. He have 1,001 ways to deceive, to manipulate, to indoctrinate someone. Indoctrination is the mental grooming of deception. It means when you're indoctrinated with the lies and deception, it's hard to break free from that. That is like the ultimate form of sorcery and spells, spell casting and divination. is indoctrination into worldly doctrine. My buddy, what's his Yahoo own son, he would call it education when you're being educated in the world ways. Uh, Deceiveth the whole world. He was cast out where? To the moon, to Mars, to Venus, to Jupiter somewhere? No, indeed. He was cast out right here up on the earth, the scripture says, highlighting it so you can read it for yourself. Once again, we're in the book of Revelations, chapter 12. And his angels, his messengers, those that go around spreading gossip, lies, rumors, your news broadcasters, your news anchors, your journalists, so forth, and whatever. You know what I mean? They're the ones spreading the message. Those that develop the curriculum for your schools, so forth, they were cast out with him where? To the earth. If you're on earth, then guess what? The devil's here too, deceiving the whole world. And you got to know that this entire world around you is a lie. It's a deception. It's an illusion. You want to believe something is true. You want to believe people are good, whatever the case may be. It's a lie. If it's not from the Most High God, it is lie, deceit, deception. It's manipulation in some shape, form, or fashion. And the moment you believe it in it, the moment the enemy have an advantage over you. So the scriptures tells us we should not be ignorant of the devils, of these devils, because it's a lot of them. They're all around you. They're in your neighborhoods. They're on your jobs. They're in the CIA, the FBI, the Department of Homeland Security. They're on the police force. These liars, these agents of Satan, or these angels of Satan, these messengers of Satan, those that carry out his deception, his wicked acts, and have a veneer of righteousness, as the scriptures tells us that they tend to disguise themselves as. The devil disguise himself as an angel of light, and his messengers do the exact same thing. They're not trying to create world peace. They're not trying to promote community safety or any of that. It's not about national security. It's about killing the Negroes, the so-called real people of the Most High Yah. And you may be a Negro with another pigmentation, because that's what they call you. You know, if you don't fit the mold and they're trying to cast you down, belittle you, and bring you low, that's just what that is. They were cast out to the earth. Him and his angels were cast out with him. And I'm going to jump down. And it says, and I heard a voice saying in the spiritual realm in heavens, now come salvation. That's the restoration process. People think you're just going to be perfect overnight. You're not. You're going to go through the process of salvation. The salvation stage begin immediately once you accept, the word of truth into your heart. Salvation begins immediately, but salvation is a process. It's like a surgery. Soon as the doctor just because the doctor starts surgery, don't mean that the surgery is okay. I just started, it's finished. No, it's a process. It's stages that you have to go through, and then there's a healing stage after that, and then you're good as new. Salvation means to restore, to salvage something back to its original perfected state. If you're a true child of the Most High, you're from the heavenly realm and not from this earthly realm. Hate to say it, but you are damaged. You had a collision, crash course here on earth. You were, as soon as you hit the earth, bam, sin, iniquity, transgression. You're damaged on impact. Most High sent you here, boom, you hit the earth, you're damaged on impact. And now you have to be salvated. You have to recover from the lies, the indoctrination, the deceptions, the believing in the materialistic 3D realm instead of believing in the what some may call fourth dimensional unseen realm, which is the real. That's where you can see everything for what it is and not what it appears to be. You're limited to the 3D vision with carnal sight. And this is where deception takes place. The illusion of the eye, the pride of life, and the lust of the flesh. It is now come salvation strength in the kingdom of Yah, not the systems of this world, the beast systems of this world, but the kingdom of Yah. That's what we should be seeking. In the power of his anointed one, or for the accuser, there we go, accuser of the brethren have been cast down. This is what they've desired to do, accuse you all the time. They want to find fault, error, a reason to attack you. And if they don't have one, they will make it up. But we are overcome by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of our testimonies. And so the enemy will study you and say, hey, where is their weakness? What can I accuse them of? Is there fault in them? Is there a fault in me? Absolutely. I die daily. I grow in grace daily in the knowledge of my Savior, Yeshua, and more developing a Christ-like mind every single day, not being transformed, conformed to this world, but being transformed, being elevated in my Christ consciousness, my Christ-like state of mind every single day. I'm putting off the old man and putting on the eternal, immortal, new spiritual being that I am, being in his image and his likeness isn't carnal. It's a spiritual thing. As a child, son, if God is spirit and they that worship him must worship him in spirit and truth, guess what? His spirit, his children, sons and daughters are spiritual children, having the illusion of a earthly presence or being or existence. Right? So, and it says, and when the enemy come to accuse us, he don't stop. It's perpetual. It says, which accuse them before. Somehow move that all the way over. See if we can't move it back. All right, there we go. It says, which accuse us before the Most High God day and night, consistently. Accusations. They're this, they're that, they're the third, they ain't this, they ain't that. Accusations. You be aware of that. As soon as you see that accusing spirit, that should be a red flag. Devil, go to praying, go to binding, go to casting out that spirit. Because whom, as the book of Romans chapter 8 tells us, whom the Most High have justified, who can bring an accusation against? For it's the Most High God is Riel who justifies, the one and only true living God. Why? Because we are blameless in Christ, and we overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of of our testimony. What is our testimony? We've gone through the fire, the testings. We've been cast down, but not cast away. We've been ridiculed. We've been talked about. We've been slandered, etc., etc. And we've been violated in ways unspeakable, undescribable. We've gone through things that was meant to destroy and rattle our minds so that we no longer had a sense of who we were and why we were and what we are supposed to be doing. You know, They call that trauma-based mind control. Many of us had to overcome that trauma-based mind control. How? By the sacrifice of the Holy Lamb of Yah, which was slain before the foundations of the world, and by the word of our testimony. It is the test that we've gone through that gives us power over the enemy, that gives us the power and ability to overcome the things that the accusers of the brethren in the body of Christ had all to go through. It gives us the ability to overcome the fire of the trials that we're placed in, the den of the lions that we have to sleep through amongst, that wants to devour and destroy us. The word of our testimony and the sacrifice of the Lamb. It says, therefore rejoice, you heavens, and you that dwell in them, but warning, a woe to the inhabitants of the earth in the sea, for the devil has come down unto you, having great wrath, meaning, oh, they're mad. They're big time mad. Wrath, my goodness, that is go, when somebody's like so angry, they go on a narcissistic rage warfare. You have to put them down. They're mad. They're like a coyote with rabies. They're going to attack anything and everything in their sight. They don't even have control over their own thoughts. They're consumed with hate. They're consumed with the ideal of revenge and destruction. They have blood in their eyes. That's one ways to see it. They have blood in their eyes. Because he know it, they know what? They have a short time. Their time is over with. Their time is up. They had their moment. They had their chance. They had their opportunity to come at us, but it's over. It's You got to speak into the atmosphere. Tell the enemy your time is up. It's over, man. I see right through what you do, what you're about, and guess what? This is your eviction notice. You got to go. You got to go. You can't have a place in my life. I won't allow you to have access in my life. And I'm going to tell you from my own personal experience, oftentimes when you do that, when you submit your life to do the will of Yah, to walk in the law, statutes of the Most High, which means that you deny your fleshly nature and become your spiritual nature, your spiritual man, the real you, who you really are, because we're not this fleshly body. You don't feed the flesh, deny the flesh, you starve the flesh, and you feed the spiritual mind, the spiritual man. Then guess what? The enemy is going to be pissed. They're going to be mad. They're going to go around. They're going to spread lies, rumors. They're going to make it seem like, you're misfit, like you're the one with the problem, like you're suffering from bipolar schizophrenia disorder, when all along they're the ones who have a real mental problem. So messed up that the Most High himself couldn't allow them to stay in the spiritual realm. He had to kick them out because they would have corrupted everybody's thought process, etc., with that dark psychology and manipulation, etc., and so forth. But this is our season to be elevated, and the enemy's lies and plots and plans, and I don't know what all you guys have been through, but they're failing. They've already failed. They're being exposed. You can see them. Now it's time for everyone else to see them. I work as a commercial truck driver, and for years the enemies created this narrative about me. You know what I mean? And since I worked for that evil, wicked, demonic satanic Luciferian corporation called Schneider and Immortal. Uh, they started this theme of he can't stay on a job, but what they leave out is they always sabotage the job. Used to work for Saul's Pipe and Steel. When I would say my first week there, they had the manager, the driver manager holding the phone up, how they do the broadcast to try to make everyone buy into the story of you. Everyone gets consumed with um, the social, the what they call reality TV. The enemy, boy, that reality TV was psychological conditionings for people who use uh, the television broadcast, or whether it's on your phone or the media broadcast, to put spells on a lot of people. So oftentimes, if you're a chosen one, they have their little phones up, whether it's in their pockets, and as they're interacting with you, they want the world to watch to see how you respond. Play dumb. Play like you don't even know that it's happening. Be consciously aware of every move the enemy makes, but play ignorant. And I'll tell you why shortly. But I would go to different customers, and they would create, the enemy would concoct some sort of narrative that is supposed to be problematic for me to see how I would respond. And of course, me being the country, hey, how you doing? I want to figure out what is the motive here. What story narrative are you trying to create? And how do you know what I mean? Like here, and for what purpose? It's always the purpose of evil. But normally the enemy, he suckers people in. And right now, I got to say, I'm probably the most popular, non-popular person in the world, because people, they just get sucked, so soaked into, you know, uh, that guy, being broadcast. And I use it as an opportunity. I exploit the opportunity. Okay, the enemy want to, um, it says, don't let your good be evil spoken of. He want to misrepresent any sort of good intentions that I have to be broadcasted as evil. So what I do is I play dumb, and then when they least expect it, I give the thumbs up to the viewers so that they know I'm fully aware of the dark psychological tactics. And there's those that pretend to be smart, but people who are endowed with wisdom, knowledge, understanding, and spiritual knowledge and vision, we don't have to pretend at all. We just are. As a matter of fact, we'll let you go out of your way to make yourself believe, to deceive yourselves. It says in the book of 2 Timothy chapter 3, around verses 12 through 14, that they will go around deceiving while being deceived themselves. I will let you deceive yourself into believing that you're manipulating me, that you're tricking me, or somehow you're going underneath the radar. No, I see these spiritual eyeballs, not the carnal ones that you see, but the spiritual me. In the spiritual realm, I see everything that the Most High wants me to see. I know what the enemy's doing and plotting and saying, and many of you, guess what? It's the exact same way. You don't even have to be where they are in a physical realm to know what they're saying about you in the spiritual realm. We have spiritual ears, and with your spiritual hearing, distance don't matter. And with my carnal hearing, I need to be close enough to hear you. You need to be loud enough in order for me to audibly perceive what you're saying. I need to have some sort of knowledge of the language in which you're speaking in order to be able to ascertain what you're talking about. But in the spiritual realm, it don't work like that. My spiritual hearing, your spiritual hearing is totally different. When someone's speaking evil about you, discussing evil about you in the spiritual realm, you can be on the other side of the moon. I don't care where you are. My spiritual ear is going to pick up on it. You can be speaking Chinese on the other side, Mandarin, and whatever on the other side of the moon. You can be speaking Zulu and Hoodoo on the other side of the moon. My spiritual ear is not only going to pick it up, but it's going to decipher every word of it. I don't have to see you currently up to no good as a chosen one. We see you in the spiritual realm. We know what you are. We know what you're about. We know what you've been trying to pull off. And we're just going to play ignorant because that's the humility trait that we have, is to come humble. Like we don't know anything. And at the same time, we know everything, just like our Father. Just like our Father. He made us in his image and in his likeness. We are. So, see, we're just over 1 hour and so forth. So I'm going to close with uh, a little bit of Psalms 37. And hopefully this will bless you and give you some direction. Quickly, a Psalm of David. Fret or do not be afraid, or because of evildoers, neither be thou envious against the workers of iniquity. People, that's their job. They work iniquity. Doing wrong is their job. Coming against you is their job. It says workers of iniquity. They clock in and go to work. That's why many of them join the CIA, FBI, LEIUs, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Because it's their job. They go to work in the iniquity that they do. It says, for they shall soon be cut off like grass. I got a lawnmower. I cut the grass. As soon as I cut it, it starts turning brown. It dies. I go out the next day. I don't even know what happened to it. It just disappears. It decays. It blows in the wind. But it's no longer there after it's been cut down. And it wither as the green herb. Trust in the Most High Yah, the one and only true living God. Hallelujah to his name. And do good. So shall thou dwell in the land. And verily, you shall be fed. Delight yourself also in the Most High, and he shall give you the desires of your heart. This is the season that we're in. Many of you have, in spite of what you've gone through, you found your delight in Yah, in the Most High God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. He's going to give you the desires of your heart in this season. If you've been waiting on companionship, he's going to give you that. If you've been waiting on a family, he's going to allow that harvest to manifest. If you've been waiting on financial stability and a blessing of wealth, he's going to give you that. If you're waiting on healing and health, he's going to give you that. If you've been waiting on wisdom and spiritual understanding of all things, he's going to give you that. Whatever it is that you've been waiting on in this season, the Father, for those of you who are chosen and you've gone through, he carried you through. You held on to the faith while going through this trial. This is your season of this is your harvest season, where what you've been desiring is anticipation. It's in. Let me try to say this without my country self accent getting in the way. It's been you patiently desiring to receive something, right? And with enthusiasm, you want, it's like you want to taste that cake, but it's going through the baking process. You desire, man, I can't wait till this cake is done. You want it so bad. Boy, the Most High is going to give you the desire for those good things that you desire. It says, commit your ways unto the Most High Yah. Trust also in him, and he shall bring it to pass. He's going to bring it to pass. What do we have to do, though? We have to commit our ways unto his ways. And our ways don't always align with his. I know mine don't, but constantly we have to submit ourselves. Submit, hey man, this is what I want to do. This is what my flesh trying to do. This is what, you know, but nevertheless, not my will, but thy will be done. We have to constantly be in that submissive, repentant state of mind. You know, my ways, my flesh, my, you know, whatever mind is going in this direction, but nevertheless, not that way, not what I want, but your will be done here on earth in my life as it is in your spiritual realm, as it's been written in your word, your destiny, your plans for me. That's what I desire because I know uh, those thoughts that you have toward me, they're good. They're going to bring me into an expected end. That just simply means your destiny, our destiny. If you want to get to your destiny, then you commit your ways unto his ways. Commit him unto, hey, look, this is what I would like, whatever. Says, commit your ways. I'm committing this to you, Father. Trust in him. I don't know how you're going to bring it to pass, but he shall bring it to pass. Just test it. I'm living in faith right now. Don't know how my bills are going to get paid. Don't know any of that stuff. But I've been here before and he's brought these things to pass every time that I commit my ways to him and I trust in him. Verse 6, and it says, he shall bring forth your righteousness as the light and thy judgment as the noonday. We're shining on them. That's what that means. These accusers of the brothers, these people that desire to stalk us, to create all plots, plans, and deep, dark psychological manipulative tactics, thinking, sneakling and grinning in the background, thinking that they're getting away. Like, who sees us? The Most High sees you. We see you. You're being exposed to the world. They're looking real stupid right now. Only thing you have to do is turn on the news. They look dumber and dumber every day. They look like actors that no longer can act. It's just a horrible, cheap movie where the actors don't even want to act anymore. That's the sign that Babylon is dying. This old world matrix system is dead. It's over with. It's a wrap. They're making nothing but low budget movies at this point. Their budget's been cut. They're taking out loans just to keep up the lie. Have you guys ever bought a cheap film and when you put it in, you're like, man, this thing is so cheesy. They're acting, but it's so cheap and unrealistic, you can't even get into it. That's what's happening. The enemy's lies and acting are being exposed. The Most High have cut their resources completely off. They're withering away, as the beginning of the scriptures say. They've been cut off and withering as the herb, as the grass of the field. It says rest. Many of us have had our rest taken in Yah, the Most High Yah, and patiently wait upon him. Do not be afraid, fret, fear not yourself because of him who prospered in his ways. The enemy is prospering in his wicked ways because of the man who bringeth wicked devices to pass. They concocted many evil, low down, dirty things against us, and some of those things came to pass. It says, don't worry about that. Verse 7. Don't just rest in the Most High and be patient. Just wait. In due season, guess what? They're going to reap what they have sown. All the wicked devices they've brought to pass, all their, counterintelligence, COINTELPRO, It's going to be the Haman guillotine that chops their own head off. The enemy is naked before the Most High Yah. He sees them for what they are. You can deceive man with degrees and positions and titles and organization ties, etc. The Most High, he sees you as a naked individual with a filthy heart and a filthy mind, and that's what that is. COINTELPRO organizations can't save you when you're being judged by Yah. It says, cease from anger, chosen ones. Control that anger. We are emotional creatures, mind, will, emotion, soul, emotion. That's what make up the soul. We're soul creatures. We're real souls. And so, you have positive emotions such as joy, happiness, love, peace, encouragement. Those are good emotions, but you also have the opposite end of the spectrum on that emotional plane, which is anger, jealousy, right? No, let the low level serpent seed, which was cursed to stay in that narcissistic low level vibration, live there by themselves. They're miserable. A crooked ladder wants company. Don't be their company. Leave them alone. I can be happy and joyous by myself. I don't need their behinds. I don't need to lower my standards or be triggered by them. The emotional triggers is one dark psychological tactic that the enemy used to try to bring you down to their level. They want you to scoot down to their standard. Cease from that anger. Cease from wrath. I know you want to get back many times. We want to box it out. We want to give them a two-piece and a drink, right? Most High says, cease from that. That's low. That's ghetto. No, do not be afraid or fear not thyself in any wise to do evil. Don't become evil. They want to turn you into the monsters and into the low life creatures they are. Don't do it. Continue to smile. Continue to be encouraged. Continue to find joy in the fact that the Most High loves us and He's not going to leave us in the fire because that wasn't His intentions in the first place of allowing us to go into the fire. The enemy threw us into the fiery pit, hoping that we would be consumed by it, but the Most High only allowed him to do it so he could purify us, so that he could elevate our value. This is why you have some gold that's like, 5K, 10 carat, 25 karat gold, etc. What is it saying? It's a notation of your value based on your purity. And the longer you're in the fire, the higher your uh, value go. You're very valuable. You're priceless. You've been in the fire so long. If you've been in that spiritual fire like I have, man, the enemy, he is jealous. They know you're priceless. They know your value far exceed all of them put together, combined, then some. You're the one who's all that in a bag of chips. It says, cease from that anger, cease from that wrath. Don't try to get back at them. Don't try to get vengeance, for vengeance belongs to the Most High. He's going to repay the evil ones for all that they have done. They're not going to get away with it. They're not getting away with it. It says, verse 9, for those evildoers, those gang stalkers, those low down, dirty individuals, those tricksters, the people that call behind your back, manipulate people that are good at dark psychology and making one believe their lies. It says, for those evildoers, they're going to be cut off. They're going to be cut off. But those who wait upon Yah, you have faith. You're patiently just waiting for his word to come to pass in your life. we shall inherit the earth, because the enemy's time is short. They know their time, they're out of here. That's why you see all this crazy stuff happening in the earth. The lies of manipulation, um, I won't mention any names to trigger any algorithms, but you know how they're trying to get you to buy into it, and somehow they're trying to twist that toward the melanated people here, and it's not working. Twist that against us. It says, for yet a little while, and the wicked shall not be. They shall not be, you guys. And just it says in Revelation chapter 12, they know that their time is short. This is reiterating the exact same thing. It says, for in a little while, their time is short, the wicked shall no longer be. They know they're on their way out the door, so they're cutting up. They know that their season is over with. It's coming to an end. Their roots has been cut off. They're withering up and drying and being exposed as I speak. Thou shalt diligently consider their place. Where are they at? And it shall not be. But the meek, the chosen, elect shall inherit the earth. You're about to be exalted in positions of power, in positions of authority according to your faith. You're about to come into your purpose. The purpose before the foundation of this world. Jeremiah chapter 1, verse 4. He knew us before we was even in the flesh form. He formed us, he ordained or purposed us, commissioned us. We're empowered with purpose. You're not just here for no reason. Your life has a purpose and a meaning. He has a plan for you. And he knows those thoughts that he has for you to bring you into your expected end. And it says that shall delight themselves in the abundance of peace. The Most High is going to give you peace. It says the wicked plotted against the just and gnashes upon him with his teeth. The wicked plotted. Yes, they plot, they plan against people who are justified. They want to set you up. They want to frame you. They want to sabotage and snatch the rug out from underneath your feet while you're sleeping at nighttime. They cannot get any rest. They have confederations, COINTELPRO meetings on how they can destroy you. And they gnash upon you with their teeth. Someone's biting at you constantly, like a roaring lion. They just biting at you, you know, trying to harm you with the words of their mouth. Says, but the Most High Yah, laugh at them. They're a joke, people. For the Most High see their day is coming. They're going to get theirs. Their day is coming. Every dog has their day. They're going to get what's coming to them. Don't worry about revenge. Don't get angry. Don't get upset. The wicked have drawn out their swords without warrant, without merit. You don't even know why these people hate you, why they're warfaring against you, why they're out to get you so bad. They just want to see you. They can't let it go. They're obsessed. They have a psychological sickness. It's called unhealthy obsession in a negative way, but they can't let it go. They're not going to let bygones be bygones. You don't know what you did or what their offense is. They just made some crazy stuff up in their head, and now they believe it to be true, and you can't talk any sense into them. Don't try to talk sense into them. The Most High can't talk sense into them. They're mad. They're like an old rabid dog. They're like old Yeller at the end of that movie, if you've seen it. There's no other response, but the Most High got to put them down. He's got to cut them off from the land of the living. They're no longer rationally thinking. They're driven by hatred, envy, jealousy, delusion, and they're just disgusted by you. They hate you without a cause. as the book of John, chapter 15, around verse 18 says. Says, the um, wicked have drawn out their sword. A sword is a weapon, an offensive weapon of war to attack someone. And they have bent their bow to cast down the poor and needy. You just like trying to survive. You just trying to make it. You're trying to go along, get along, and just live and experience life. Poor in heart, need always, you have need of a whole lot of things, but they jealous of you. They have their wicked, dirty, low down, dirty, sick, Masonic dollars, and you know you're experiencing coming out of poverty, and they're jealous of you. They're talking about you. I live in a trailer park, and they live in a mansion, gated community. But guess what? They're not the topic of my conversation. I don't even know their names. They can't keep my name out of their mouth. It's the same way with you. And it says, and to, the wicked have drawn out their sword and have bent their bow to cast down. They want to slander you, cast you down, the poor and needy, and to slay such as be upright in conversation. Every time you speak a word or a conversation, you say the right thing, they hate you more and more. They want to kill you. That's what to slay means. They want to assassinate you. Many of, not the fake assassinations, but the real ones, the people they really slayed and murdered and killed and did all that, and not some. Uh, it's because they were upright in their conversation. What they were saying convicted the wicked in their ways and their dealing. It exposed them. That's why they want to slay you, assassinate you. I know they put a monitoring device in my work vehicle in my home and so forth, and they uh, hacked into my phone, and they would broadcast certain one of my conversations, and I was fully aware of it. And one night I started speaking upright conversation to expose the racist systems of America. That was after that conversation that got broadcast is when I experienced my first assassination attempt. And like, well, that's when the federal government literally carried out an attempt. It was a failed attempt because it wasn't the will of the Most High for me to depart from the land of the living at that time. But they carried out a series of attempts to physically assassinate me, like they did Steve Biko, Patrice Lumumba, Martin Luther King, um, Malcolm X, Afeni Shakur, uh, Fred Hampton, Huey Newton, and a host of others that go unnamed. I was going to be added to that list of the Federal Bureau of Investigation and the CIA plot to assassinate someone who speak upright in conversation. But the scriptures reminded me that their own sword, their own weapons of war, their uh, even their neurotech, their psychotronic weaponry, their swords shall enter their own heart, and their bows shall be broken. The very thing they've concocted to kill and assassinate those that are upright in the Most High Yah's name, guess what? They're going to be slain by that very same thing. The very same words they spoke to destroy our relationships, our character, to cause people's perception of us to be warped and distorted. Those exact same words going to be used to destroy and expose their character for the dark entities, the wicked individuals they are. Scriptures tells us better is the little that the righteous man has than all the riches, many riches of the wicked. Because whatever little bit you do have, you didn't have to kill nobody to get it. You didn't have to, go to any Diddy parties to get it. You didn't have to join in on Epstein's Island. You didn't have to drink any sort of adrenochrome from the children that they rape, molest, and torture and on Epstein's Island, etc. What little bit you did have, you got it the honest way. You may have had to beg for it, whatever. You, it's better than all the many riches of the wicked because you have no idea what they got to do. Many of them are, you know, they've gone on the casting couch. They've been involved in, they're just twisted. They're sexual deviants. They have unnatural desires, unnatural flesh, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Even and they'll try to use the art of projection to make it seem like that's what you are and what you're about. And I had to deal with that recently. Like, huh? Like somebody's literally like I was checking out at a register and by I've been in the country, we carry on conversations or whatever like a lot longer because ain't nothing else to do here in the country but to talk. So we talk to each other and we build, cordial conversational interactions and so forth. So we're gonna be like, hey, how you doing? Have a nice day, whatever the case may be. Well, it was a young lady that was checking me out at the Walmart cash register, and next thing you know, people's like, oh, you were trying to talk to her. And I had to quickly remind them, and I'm not prejudiced in any sort of way. Uh, let me remove this so they can see this. Okay, so I'm not prejudiced when I say this. So if you're classified as European or Asian or whatever, Mexican, this is nothing against you. This is my personal preference according to the laws that the Most High placed on my heart and in His Word. I don't date outside my race. I'm not physically attracted to women of other races or bi races or whatever the case may be. I'm attracted to my own, and that's scriptural. You know what I mean? We're not to give our children in marriage to the stranger, to mix our seed with mingle our seed, our DNA with the Gentile nations of the world. And for whatever reason or the other, anyone who knows me, and this is going out on live stream, broadcast, family, friends, anybody who's know me since I was old enough to actually look at the opposite sex around the age of 11, 12, whatever the case may be. I never was attracted to like other races. So, like this was like a white skinned individual. And I'm like, you definitely don't know me. For you, like the devil didn't even plant in your head like enough knowledge for the lie to stick. Because if you say that to anybody about me, they be like, who? What? No, you definitely don't know him because he, like, that's just been me my whole life. Nothing against anyone who may be classified as Central American, Spanish, or European, or Asian, or whatever the case may be. I'm just, there is someone for you. I'm pretty sure it's just not me because I'm attracted to my melanated black sisters, the Hebrew, the Israelites, the diaspora. I love you, sisters, and that's what's in my heart. Always have been. I was born with that. You don't see a dog desiring to mate with a bird or a cat. You don't see a chicken trying to mate with a sparrow or a robin. It's attracted to its kind, and that goes into the book and the laws of Genesis chapter 1. Whose seed is in its own kind. You reproduce after your own kind and after your own likeness. That's what you're supposed to be attracted to. But nowadays, the enemy have distorted and mistorted and confused the world and the people that are in the world so much and genetically modified them to the point where people lust after things that are not of their nature, not of their kind. Let's go to Genesis chapter 1 real quick so you guys can see what I'm talking about. You're welcome. So welcome, my brother. All right. So here it goes. All right. I'm just going to scroll down here. And of course, that the international version try to distort the truth, but we're going to go here to the older version, more original version of translation so that you guys can see what I'm speaking of. So the truth get lost in translation. And here it goes. Everything that the Most High gave the ability to reproduce, this is what it says. In the Most High Yah, he said, let the earth bring forth grass and herb, yielding seed and fruit, yielding seed after what? After his kind. After his kind. Not after another kind, but after his kind. But the Most High, it says, whose seed is in itself upon the earth, and it was so. So what? It's supposed to reproduce after its kind. Let's go down, and it says, and the earth brought forth grass and herbs, seed, yielding seed. What? After his kind. You go after your own kind. And a tree yielding fruits, whose seed, that's the DNA, is in itself after his kind, its own DNA, not mixing and mingling. And there's other scriptures too where I can go directly and it specifically tell you not to, go after the other nationalities. So date your own, to be attracted to your own. And it goes even sicker than that. I would rather see people go after another race than to go after the same sex, because that sick stuff, that's on a whole nother level, and that's not hate speech. For those that are into that lifestyle, I'm praying for you to be delivered from it. You know what I mean? That's some sick stuff. When a grown man is willing to torture their anus, it just make you wonder. I mean, when you really think about it, not talking about the narratives that the world give you or whatever, but the reality of it. When if a that's not even love, that's not even pleasure. You're torturing yourself and you're calling it love. That's psychological, dark psychological conditioning where the enemy have caused you to believe a lie, a deception that is obvious. It's so obvious. It's like eating glass for breakfast and saying it's a delicious, nutritional packed meal for your soul, and your mouth is bleeding and your insides is bleeding while you're doing it. That's the equivalent of that which the Father calls an abomination in the book of Leviticus, chapter 18 through 22. All right, so verse 21. And the Most High God created the whales and every living creature which moveth upon the earth, which the waters brought forth abundantly after their kind. After their kind, the whales don't go, hey, you know what? I'm tired of dating whales. I think you know what? The sharks are looking pretty sexy over there. I think I'll go, get with a shark and have a rendezvous with this shark, a liaison with this shark. And even though I'm a whale, hey, look, man, look at that shark, it's fine. Or look at that flounder or goldfish. I kill that. No, after its kind, its nature. Man and the fallen angels started mixing the seeds and the DNA. Read the book of Enoch. It's an abomination, and the earth is judged because of that. And every winged fowl, after what? is kind, and he saw that what that was good. And he blessed them and said, be fruitful and multiply and fill the waters and the seas and fall upon the earth. After his kind, you multiply. So that's been in me. Nobody had to teach me that. Nobody had to sow that in me to desire my beautiful melanated black sisters. It just was in me. The moment that I transitioned from, childhood to adolescence, where I started growing a little hair underneath my arms and my voice got a little deeper, and I cut it off, but facial hair and things of that nature started coming in. I started going through puberty. I just saw my sisters, the other nationalities that existed. Was aware that there was other nationalities, but after my DNA is what I've always desired. It's just always been it. And anybody who know me, they're going to tell you that's what it's always been. This action. Hey, have you ever known him to even? They're going to be like, no. It's the extreme opposite, and he makes that well known. Always have since he was a child all the way up. You know what I mean? History is best qualified to reward all research. So if you want to do your research, go look into my past. Ask around, and they'll tell you the truth of what it is. If they're not a low down, dirty, lying seed of Satan, they're going to tell you the truth. But that's how the enemy try to twist and bring about accusation, which is it's funny to me. It's like, okay, man, that's a far reach when the enemy tries to pull that off. And I have not little kids, but my two are pretty much grown at this point, you can say, and so forth. So, like the me looking at a child, I see them as my own child. That's just me. That's a real man. Any real man, if he sees someone, a young girl or whatever the case may be, if you're desiring that, you're sick in the head. You are. I'm just being honest. You're sick. A pedophile is one sick-minded, sick-hearted individual, and you need to be cured from that. I have the 25-7 rule. Who ever heard of the 25-7 rule? 25 and 7 rule. Many of you, some of you may have heard of this 25-7 rule. Put a 144 in the chat if you've heard of the 25-7 rule. 25-7 rule states, and I'm going to close with this. 25-7 rules state that you shouldn't be dating or considering marriage as a man. This rule applies until you reach the age of 25. And at the age of 25, the 25-7 rule means at the age of 25, you should be seeking a woman no more than 7 years younger than you, no older than 7 years older than you. So if you're 25, you go 7 years down, you get 18. You go 7 years up, you get 32. Right? So someone at that age, 25, and then each year it moves up. If you're 26, no younger than 19, no older than 33. You move up another year. If you're 27, you just apply that same rule, no younger than 20, no older than 34. So that's the 25-7 rule that I've always lived by. And many of you already know that rule of thumb as a man, but for you women out there who don't know that, that's what a real man goes by. The 25-7 rule off top. I'm going to ask you, how old are you? You may not want to tell me, but if you're in that 25-7, then it's doable. You also, according to the scripture, all right, let me try to see if I can't get this to share. Deuteronomy chapter 7. Seven and 3. And it reads, this is the New International Version. It says, do not intermarry with them. Do not give their daughters to your sons, nor take their daughters for your sons. Do not intermarry with what? Other nations. And you can read that entire uh, chapter in order to learn more and more about how the Most High put it in His laws. You shouldn't be dating the other nationality. Not saying treat them mean, not saying treat them, you know, unfair or not recognize that they desire to be loved and respected and all that other stuff. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. But you shouldn't be desiring. If you're lying, you look really sick if you're trying to have sex with a bear or marry a bear or a puppy or something. I don't know. That's some sick stuff, right? It's unnatural. Stick with your own kind. It's in the scriptures. It's all over the place. Uh, the book of some places you can read this is, and Most High people were punished for this. The book of Esdras, chapter 10, verses 16 through 20. It speaks of this. Also in the book of, you can read that entire chapter starting at verse 3 all the way through. Also the book of Nehemiah, Nehemiah chapter 13, verses 23 through 31. You know, there's other passages too that confirms what I'm saying. So hopefully that helps. I love you guys. So long. I mean, this is the long live stream, an hour and 47 minutes. Look, till next time, you guys continue to pray one for another. Continue to expect your harvest in this season. Continue to know that the plans of the enemy will fail and will be exposed in this season, and the Most High will exonerate you in this season. Don't fall for the tricks, the traps, the distractions, the lies, etc. of the wicked, but hold steadfast to the promises of Yah, and they are always yes and amen for His chosen elect. Your boy MT AC, as always, has got to be his out.